Hello everyone, my name is Ronak and you're watching Vector Art. In today's video, we are building this beautiful, colorful and fully functional unit converter application using WPF, XAML and C Sharp. We will cover custom button navigations with animations, deep styling and the math behind accurate unit conversion. So without any further ado, let's get started. And here on the screen, you can see this unit conversion app which has length, weight and temperature functionalities. Here you can see we can convert from and to a unit, and here on the screen you can see we have meters, kilometers, centimeters and so on, and all the functionalities that you expect from a unit converter. You can put in a value and it will instantly convert the value. But the idea for this video is to focus on navigations, animations and deep styling, and also some of the math behind use creating such a unit converter. So let's start coding this application. And for those who haven't subscribed to my channel, please do subscribe to my channel. It means a lot. It motivates me to create more such videos. So let's start by firing up Visual Studio and creating such an application. So here I have Visual Studio 2022. Let's start by creating a new project. Let's select WPF app with .NET Framework. If you do not see it in recent templates, you can select it or search it here in the templates. I will go ahead and click on next. Let's give this project a name. I will rename this project as Unit Converter App and click on Create. Let me switch to this vertical split so that we can see the code and the code behind and the designer easily. So first up, the design. We are going to define all our vibrant colors and all our styles in a Windows resource. So let's start by defining this Windows resource, which will be applied to all the buttons and every control on our window. Before that, let's also give this window a title, height, background, foreground and font family for the whole window, and also set up the Windows startup location to center screen. So I have the code ready, which I will go ahead and paste so that we do not waste time in typing all of these things. And also this will also surely make the video length much smaller. So it is I will also explain you what I have done here. I've added the title over here, the height and width, the background is set to this color and the foreground, and also set the font family and Windows startup location as center. So when I run this application, the window will appear at the center and not on the right hand side corner, which is at the default position. Sorry, not the right but the left hand side corner. So next, let's start by defining the Windows resources. So let's start by adding the Windows resource element right before the grid. So we have our Windows stores resources, and within our resources we will add all our styles. So first up, let's add the theme colors, which will be applied to all our elements or all our controls. So here I have the theme colors. So for that I have added the solid color brushes and given these the names like primary background, card background, primary text, secondary text and accent colors. So these are all the colors that I want in my application. Your application can have a different color palette, and that color palette you can set using these solid color brushes. Next, we will define the style for our borders. So let me put in this style for our borders after our solid color brushes. So here is the style for my main dark background panel, which I will be adding over here. So before we add styles, let's go ahead and create our user elements, and so you will see how these styles will affect our user control. So for that, let's go ahead and start adding values in our grid. First off, I will increase the margin of our grid to 40, so that we all our elements are at this after this margin. Then we will define the row definitions. So within our grid I will add the row definitions. So row 0 is the header, row 1 is the navigation buttons, and row 2 is the converter content. So next, we need a header section, and let's paste it here. And here you can see this header is positioned in the grid row 0. It has a margin of 30 at the bottom. So it starts from I think it is left, top, right and bottom. Yes. And then we have the text box itself, which is housing the text unit converter. And the top, it has a font size, font weight, font foreground color, and it is using the static resource primary text, which we have defined over here, which is a solid color brush of black. Not exactly black, but close to black. Then we have a slightly lighter header text over here, which is a subtext, and it is using this secondary text static resource, and it is a lighter shade of gray. And next we will move to the navigation buttons. So let's go ahead and add these navigation buttons. So after this stack panel, I'll paste in the navigation buttons. So here we have a navigation buttons within a uniform grid, and the grid is placed in row of 1. It has an horizontal alignment of left and a margin of 10 to the top and 10 to the bottom. And then we have the button itself. The first button is the length button, and I have an error here because I'll be adding icons later on to these buttons. For now I will just comment it out, and I'll do the same for the rest of the buttons, and we will soon see the errors go away. And here you can see the buttons are now added, but these buttons also have these static resources, and these styles are also not added. So for that reason, let's remove these styles for now, and later add these styles once we have our styles defined in the Windows resources. So we have our three buttons: length, weight, and temperature, and the content is placed within these button content, because within our content we have defined this template where we have a stack panel, and within our stack panel we will have a icon, and next to the icon we'll have a text. So that is the reason we are choosing this template instead of directly specifying the content. So next we will move to the converter content itself, and this will be visible one at a time. And let me take the first grid. Let's take a grid first, and after our uniform grid, let's paste this content, and also close our grid. So now this grid is within the row 2, and every content that you add will be placed within the row 2. So first thing is we need the length content. So let's copy the content that I have, code that I have, and here I have pasted the length content. So the length content is will be visible when we press the length button, and it is basically a border. And within this border I will also remove the style that I have over here, because that will again create errors. So the name is length content, visibility is visible, and opacity is 1. And within this I have a grid, and the row definitions are also present, and the column definitions are also present, specified over here. Then we have a text block which has a text called from, which we saw earlier, and the text called to, and it is using the secondary text. That means that it will be a lighter shade of gray, and the font size is 14. Then you have a combo box which has a selection change, which will be triggered when you call the unit selection changed uh, event at the backend. So that is the combo box. If I run this now, since this function is not there at the backend, it will create an error, but right now I'll leave it as is. Then we have the swap button. So this is the button that will be between the two combo boxes, so that you can swap between the units. And here we have the error for the font icon. I will comment it out, and here as soon as I did that, you will see that these controls that I've added have come back. So here is the from, and there is the to, and the combo boxes. And then next we have the combo box, which is the two combo box, and then we have two more text boxes, one for the value and the other for the result. So these are the value that you enter, and this is the result of the converted value that you will get. Then finally you have two text boxes that will display the value and the result, and these are the two text blocks that show the labels on top of it. So this is the UI. And then I will go ahead and paste the weight content. So this will be the content that will be shown when you click on the weight button. It is also similar to the length content, so I'll not explain it again. And also I will remove these styles from here, and later go ahead and add them. I'll also remove the style over here on the border, because it is throwing an error. And then finally we have the content of the temperature, which I need to add, and I will add it after the weight content. And also the same error that follows, I will comment it out, and also remove this style that is over here. So now we have all our UI contents ready. So all we have to do is apply styles to these. So let's go ahead and start adding the resources within our Windows resources. And as and when I add these resources, you will see the look and feel of the application change. So let's first start by adding the main background panel. So let's copy the style and I will paste it next after my solid color brush, and this will apply a dark background panel to all the cards. So right now the card, and I have given this name as converter card style, and it applies to the borders. So all the borders who has these basically all the borders who has the static resource defined will have this style. So what the style says is that the background property will be set to card background property, which is a color over here. Then it has a corner radius of 15, a padding of 25, margin set to top 20, and the effect that it will have is a drop shadow effect of this specified color in this direction, and the shadow depth will be 3, and the opacity of 0 0.5, and the blur radius of 10. So all these styles will be applied to the target type border who has this style set in their static resource. So let's go ahead and to our borders, let's add this static resource. So let's copy that content that we deleted before from our borders and go ahead and start adding them. So here is our first border, so I will go ahead and paste it, and as soon as I do it, let me save this and also add it to our let me go ahead and remove this because this is creating an error. And then we have the next borders which are over here, and also I will add it to the last border on the temperature and save this. So here you can see we have our border, and it has applied this nice style to it, where it has a corner radius of 15, padding of 25, top margin of 20, and it has a drop shadow effect, as you can see. So that has been applied. Now next style that we are going to add is for the combo boxes. So let's copy the style for the combo boxes and paste it in, and here you can see the combo boxes has immediately changed. So what is the style that I've applied here? So it is the target type is combo box, of course, so that is the style that has to be applied to the combo boxes. Then the property background is white, a border brush is this border color which is defined in this solid color brush over here. Then we have a padding of 10, font size of 16, vertical content alignment, a center, border thickness is 1. Then we have an item container style, and within this, how the combo box item should look like. So the target type for this is combo box item. Because the combo box holds the combo box items, this style will be applied to each of the item. And you can see the background I want is white. The foreground I want is to be a primary color. I also want an padding of 18, and also want to know if the property is highlighted is true. Then I want the background to be an accent color and the foreground to have a white color. So these are some of the styles that I want for my combo box. And once I do that, I think the as you can see, the style has already been applied to my combo boxes on the screen over here. So next up is the other style for my text box and the labels. So let's go ahead and add those styles, and I will copy that code that I have and paste it here next after my combo boxes. So here the next one that I have put is the style for the text boxes, and as soon as I have added it, you can immediately see the text boxes have changed. It is a similar approach where I set backgrounds, borders, and so on, and also set the target type text box, and also set a control template on how the text box should behave on mouse over. And when it is true, I want the border brush to be applied. I want is if it is if a keyboard has its focus value to true, then I want the border brush primary color to be applied and the border thickness increased to 2. And all of this you will see when I run the application. The text box properties or the styles are applied. Now I will move on to applying the styles for the custom category navigation buttons on top over here, the length, weight, and temperature. These buttons right now look boring, and we will soon fix them by adding these styles. So let me copy and paste this style and paste it over here. And as you can see, the style has not immediately applied because I need to reference these as static resources on the buttons. So let's go ahead and apply the styles. I will not explain these styles again because they are pretty straightforward now. As you can see, we said do the setters, we create templates, and we apply this control template to the button. So it's nothing new now that we have explained the first half where we applied combo boxes and text boxes, these styles. So next is to apply the styles or the static resources to the buttons itself. So here we have our button, and we have to just go ahead and apply these buttons, these styles. So after my tag element or the property, I will apply this style, and as soon as I add this style, you can see the button has changed from this boring gray looking to different looking button which has rounded corners, because we this template over here, or the property, has a border property, and it has a corner radius as well. So that's why we have these nice looking buttons. So I will do the same for the other buttons as well. So after my property tag, I will apply this style for each of the button that I have, and doing so will change the buttons look and feel. So now all that is done. So now next style would be the style for the swap button over here. Right now it is not visible because the style is not applied. I will go ahead and apply this style before, after, not apply, but create this style after the style for the buttons, and this style will be applied to the target type button. And that is the reason I have not created a style for the all the buttons that I have on my window, because I want different style for different buttons. That's why I create key and apply the styles on using a static resource on the button itself. So here is a style for a swap button, and I need to find my swap button over here. So let me go ahead and find it. It should be somewhere over here, and here is my swap button. And right now it is not visible because before for example, if I go ahead and add this property like I did for the card, right? So here is my static resource, and if I go and add this style over here and say swap button style, you can see the style is applied over here. But right now I do not have an icon here, so because I have commented out the font icon, that's the reason you cannot see the font icon or the swap button there. But we will soon add that and fix that issue. And let's add this swap button to all the converters. So here we have the weight converter, and within our weight we have the swap button also. So let's paste it also over here and also over here. So that will fix the issue later when we add the font icon here, and it will have this style applied by using this style property. Now one thing left is to add font icons. And to add font icons, what we have to do is go to X tools, NuGet package manager, manage NuGet packages, and go to browse and search for font awesome.wpf. Select the first one, select your project and install. Click on apply. You can visit the Font Awesome website. I'll leave a link in the description, and check out all the fonts that they offer. For now, I will start by referencing the Font Awesome namespace in my application here, and I will use this prefix to implement the font awesome's features. So first things first is to uncomment the fonts icons that I have added in our application. So the first thing that you will see are the buttons. So we have the icon here over here, which I will uncomment, and also change this to a different icon. And as you can see, the font is not loaded successfully. I will rebuild the application once just to rule out any errors, and maybe load these font icons. So there are some errors which I need to fix first. Let's do them first, and then we'll see what the error is. So I will just uncomment these icons, all of these icons here, and also the icons within the swap buttons. Okay, and that is done. Now let's take care of these event handlers that were creating problems. So let's remove these event handlers that we have, and let's see if the application builds or not. So I will go ahead and remove all of these event handlers, And later on, once I have the code behind ready, I will add them back. So I think we should be good by removing them. And there should be one more place where I need to remove them, in that is the length panel. And I think we are almost done. Yes, I think so. There are also these button click event handlers, which I have to remove. And final is the click event handler. That should be it. Let me save this application, see if the errors go away. I will rebuild the application. There are also the swap buttons, which I have to remove the click handlers from. um, pup, pup, pup. And finally this one. And let me rebuild it now. And there you see we have our UI loaded, and you also see the icons loaded on these buttons. If I run this application now, you should see the accent colors highlighted, and also the values and the combo box working. So the combo box do not have any items because those are not loaded, and those will be loaded from the code behind. So let's now work on our code behind. So now let's switch to our code behind and write all the logic that will tie things together. So the C# code makes the whole thing tick. We start by defining all our units using an enum. So this way it is type safe and way to make manage all our different units easier. So let's define all available units in an enum. So I have the code ready, which I will paste here after within our namespace. And this is a enum called unit, and it has all the units defined, for the length units, the weight units, and the temperature units. Next, the navigation logic. Basically, before that, we will add um, a border element called current content. This will track the current visibility content panel for our animation logic later on. So I will keep this ready and add it here. And once we move to the animation part, we'll make use of this variable. For now, you can ignore. I'll just have it there. Then we have we'll also set the current content, not the current content, but we have the initialize component. We will also create one more function called initialize unit converter, and call it within our main window constructor. So here, let me copy that code and paste it here after our main window constructor. And what it does, it will populate the length combo boxes. So the type it will create a list of type units, which is the enum that we created, and it is taking all of these enums into a list, and the item source of the combo box is set to this list. And also the selected index is set to 0, and the selected to selected index is set to 6. So these are the defaults that I'm setting over here. Similar to that, we will set populate the weight combo box and the temperature combo box using the enum that we have defined in the defined at the top, called unit. So next is the function that will be called, and this will perform the initial conversion on the launch, which will be the default value 0 or blank, and that will not create any conversion as the value is 0. But we'll anyway call the perform conversion function. So let's add this perform conversion function, and I will explain you what this perform conversion function does. So okay, I have the function ready. Let me go ahead and paste it. And so the all the conversion event funnels into this perform conversion. This function performs essential validations, or like if the input is blank, or if it is a non-numeric, if it is a valid. And it uses a switch to switch between statements, and to dispatch the input value to the correct calculated function, like convert length and so on. So here we have this function, which has these active inputs, outputs, and unit controls. So the input control, the result control, we are setting default to null, and the combo boxes also. And we have a function over here called converter, and that is also a null. Now we check if the current content is length, or if the current content is weight, or if the current content is temperature. And this is the value which we defined at the top. And it will tell you what the current border selected, and that will be happening when we click on the button. So that will set the value for the current content, and if the current content is length, then we set the values for the text value. If we set the value of the text value to this variable, result to this variable, value from the combo box from to this variable, and so on. And finally we call converter equal to convert length. And this function these functions over here are not yet ready, and we will write them now. And also we check if these values are null. If these values are null, then even after setting them over here, if they are null, we return them. If there is white space, we return them. And we try to parse these values, and if they are not from one of the units, then also we return exceptions. So now let's add these conversion formulas to remove these errors. So the first formula is to convert the length. So let me copy in um, the code to convert the lengths. So here I have the code. I will go ahead and paste it over here. And this is the convert length method. This calculates the base unit principle. We decide on one central unit for each category: meters for length, kilograms for weight, and Celsius for temperature. The calculation is always two-step. Step one is to convert the input unit to a base unit, and step two is to convert the base unit to the final target unit. So in this example over here, we have the value, which is a double unit, a from unit, and a to unit. So we convert this value to a from unit, from a from unit to a to unit. So um, we check what the from unit is, and based on this from unit selected, we switch to the case. For example, if you have selected kilometers, it will switch to kilometer, and the base value is equal to the value into 1000. And so that is how we decide the base value for kilometers. And then we switch to the two unit, and that two unit is to which unit you are converting the value to. So for example, if it is foot, then we divide that value by the unit. So that is how you get the result. And finally you return that result to the calling function. And similarly we will do the conversions for the weights. So the base unit here will be kilograms, and the base unit for temperature would be Celsius. So here a similar concept, we try to find the base unit, and then with using that base unit you multiply or divide the value based on the two units selected. And now finally the convert temperature function, and let me copy it and paste it over here. And this function will convert the base temperature to unit. And here we have Fahrenheit, Kelvin, and Celsius. And the same conversion from the base unit to the final target unit happens in this switch, and it returns the result. So after adding these functions, I am sure the errors with the functions are resolved. Next, what we will have to do is tie this up together by adding some supporting functions. For example, the first thing that we need to add is the button click event handlers. And all the button click event handlers are using the one single event handler, that is the card category button click. So let's add this function first at the top, after our initialize unit converter. It doesn't matter where you add it, but I just want to add it at the top. So this function will be called by each of the button. And what we do is we check what category button is clicked, and based on the case, whether it is length, weight, or temperature, we set the content, next content, and based on that next content we also assign the current content the value, and also switch the animation and also highlight the selected button. So two things that we do. um, so let's fix these errors also by adding the supported values. Before that also, we have added this initialize unit converters function. Let's add it in our constructor, which has to be called at the start, so that we have our combo boxes and other controls populated. And also we will set the first initial content panel, our border, to the length content, so that when you launch the application, we want the length panel to be visible and highlighted on the load. Also we will add this function called highlight um, selected button. So when you click on the length button or say the temperature button, it has to be highlighted. To achieve that, we will add this function called highlight button, and let's add it first and then I will explain what it does. So here we have our highlight selected button. It takes the parameter as the button parameter, and then it defines these colors that you want to be applied to that button, and then the all the category buttons are displayed over here: length button, weight button, and temperature button. And for each of the button, it will set this background, foreground, and also the content and the foreground text block value. It will find the text block within the stack panel and also update the foreground for these text blocks within the button, and also it will update the foreground for the icons. So it will apply the default style to these buttons, and also it will highlight the selected button by applying a style to the clicked button. So here you can see the logic for that. So this is the highlight selected button, and as I've added it, the error is also gone. We'll also have to add it in our constructor. So let's go ahead and add that. And once I add that, we will move to the swap button. So here after setting our current content to length content, we will just add in the highlighted button as the length button, because we are setting the current content as length. We also want the highlighted button to be length button. Then we need one more function, which is the switch content with animation. So right now I've not added any animation, and to trigger a storyboard, I first need to define that storyboard within our Windows resources. So that's why for now I will just comment this out, and see if we have missed any other things. So we also want one more two more functions, which are the conversion events and dispatchers. So first thing is the unit selection change, which will be triggered when you click on the, or when you change the combo box value. So basically this will only perform a conversion if the item is selected. So if you so once you for example, if you have a value already added in the value text box, and you have the um units selected in the from and to, and when you change the value, not the value but the combo box value, the conversion should automatically happen. So you do not have to erase the value text box and type it again. You want, as soon as you change the values in the combo box, the conversion should work. Then we also have to perform conversions on input text change. So I will add that as well, and I think we are done. One last thing is the swap unit click. So there is a button between the from and to, which has an event handler, and that should also be captured. So the swap unit click will call um, the swap combo box selections based on length content, weight content, or temperature button click. So for swap combo box selections, let me put all of these codes in, and then I will explain what it does. So let me first put this code so that the error goes away. So this swap combo box selection function just interchanges the from and to values in the combo boxes. So it simply swaps that value. So from this swap unit click button, when I click on it, if it is length content, then it changes the from length and to length combo box values with each other. Because the panels have different combo boxes, I need to check what the current content is, and if the current content is length, then we switch between the combo boxes values, and finally we perform the conversion. So all things are now taken care. So I will just run the application once, and let's see if everything works fine. And we have our application running, and I'm sure the application won't work because we have not connected our controls to the code behind event handlers. So let's work on them. So let's go back to our buttons and text boxes over here, and start by adding the event handlers to our buttons and text boxes and combo boxes. So let's do that. So let's start with the first thing is the button. And for our button, we have the click category button click. So let's copy and add that after our style. So this is the event handler that I will call um, on each button click. So let's add that, and let's save it. Next is the swap button. Let's find or the combo box. So as if you can see, we have the combo box first. So let's go to our combo box and add the selection unit change, and this will trigger the perform conversion if any value in the combo box is changed. So let's add that over here. And next we have our swap button. So the swap button, as you can see, has the event handler called click swap units click, which we will add and which is there in our code behind. So let's add that. And once that is done, we will add the selection changed again to the second combo box as well. So let's add that. And next we have our text box. So both our text boxes uh, should trigger, basically not both, but the first value text box has this input text box change event handler, which has to be triggered on the value changed. So once you change the value, the result has to be changed by calling the perform conversion. So I am going to add this text change over here, and basically I have to repeat all of this in all of the other borders, not the border but the border section for weight and temperature. So I'll copy the first text blocks and keep adding them over here and here. I'll also copy the um, unit selection. So I'll copy this code and paste it in all the combo boxes that I have, and also here and also here. And then I think we have the swap button click. So let me copy this and hope I've not missed anything. So just to make sure, the button swap is added, save, and I think we should be good. Let's run the application and see if the application works differently now. So now you can see the highlighted button is called when the application is first launched, and if I click on this, the next button is highlighted, and also you can see the text and the icon color foreground changes when the button is clicked. So all of this is taken care in the code behind. You can also see now the combo boxes are populated. If I change it to kilometer and foot, and if I put a value of 1 kilometer is equal to this value in foot, and then if I change it to millimeters, you can see the value instantly changes. Same goes for the other buttons. And let me stop the application now, and now let's focus on the animation that I showed in the start, where it was showing a subtle animation when you switched between the mm, units, or the length, weight and temperature buttons. So let's quickly add them and see them in action. So first things first is to create the storyboards in the Windows resources. So I will go to the Windows resources here on the top and add the storyboard which will create this animation. So I will copy and paste it here at the start. So this is the animation definition. So the first storyboard is to fade in, and the next animation, the storyboard is for fade out. And within our storyboard we have a double animation which animates the opacity from zero point 0.0 to 1.0 over 3 seconds, and the next animation is to animate the opacity from 1.1 to 0 for over 2 seconds. So this is a simple animation, and these are the storyboards, and I have the key set, and I have to basically trigger these storyboards on the button click whenever in the code behind. So let's go to the code behind now and wire these storyboards by adding the code for triggering the storyboards. So you remember we went ahead and disabled this function. So let's uncomment it and add this function which will trigger the storyboard. So let me copy this and paste it over here, and here you can see it takes the border, the whole content, which is the next content, and basically if the current content is not null, we go within, we initialize the storyboard to by finding the storyboard with the key content fade out, and if the fade out is completed, we trigger the visibility of the current content to collapse. Basically it is hidden, and then we set the current content to the next content, which is the button that we clicked, and also we change the visibility of this next content to visible. We add this storyboard fade in, we find this storyboard fade in and assign it to the storyboard variable, and we finally begin this storyboard using this begin event and pass this current content to it. And finally we perform the conversion, and also after that we fade out the whole content by triggering the fade out animation. So first we fade in and then we fade out. So this is the animation logic that we will trigger. And now if I run the application, you will see this fade in and fade out animation as and when I switch between the uh, different units, so weights, temperature and length. So that was it for today's video. Hope you all liked watching this video. A fully complete, beautifully styled, and professionally coded WPF unit converter is what we developed today. And hope this deep dive into XAML styling and the conversion logic was helpful. If you found this tutorial useful, please hit the like button and subscribe for more C# and XAML development projects. Let me know in the comments if you would like to see more builds and theme versions and unit categories. So, talk to you soon. Till then, bye bye.